Very healthy cuttings from a dragon fruit. And if you notice, you see it start pushing another one right to the top there. So the production is great. I'm thinking I should leave it in the water for maybe a couple more weeks and let the top they get bigger. This is the next one here. Could see the white root. So they're doing really well. So what's up, guys? Welcome to Plant a Garden TV. What's up, guys? Blessings to you guys. What's going on this beautiful day? All right. Blessings. So what's going on? Yeah. Well, guys, as we know, next month gonna be fall begin next month. We basically have one more month of summer and we got to do what we got to do now. Now is the time to do as much as you can for the 2000, get yourself ready for the 2026 garden season. You see, the thing with me, guys, I don't like to procrastinate. I don't like to wait. I like to just get things done while I can. You know, I want to ask you guys this question. Today is a Q&A. You guys can ask me any question concerning organic garden. Only concerning organic garden. All right. So what's up, guys? As you see, I have here a dragon fruit, and all I did, I cut it from the plant itself, and I peel off this stalk right here. Peel it off and put it in this water. You ain't got to get nothing fancy, guys. This is the thing. Use what you have. You ain't got to get nothing fancy. I just cut a bottle and I put two of them down inside of it and they both start rooting. And if you look to the top here, you're going to see where it already start pushing another one. Not too sure what these white things are. Kind of look like roots, but I'm trying to figure out why root is up there. But I'm going to see what is going on. But beautiful, healthy cuttings. I'm already getting ready for the 2026 garden season. Don't wait till springtime, guys. Spring already gone. Hey, Mr. Sukuna, how you doing? Spring already gone and you got to get yourself prepared for spring again. Don't wait till springtime to now trying to do this and do this. All right? So today, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be planting this into the soil, getting it ready before the spring season, the fall. Basically, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get the root established in the soil before the cold weather come down. Because you know when the cold weather come down, it's pretty challenging. Even though you might have them in your greenhouse, even though you might have them in your wherever, garage, wherever, the cold weather could be challenging. So you want the root to establish itself in the soil. So when the coldness weather, at least the root already established. I'm yours. Hey, Katarina, how you doing? Blessings to you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Peters, thank you. Have a good day. Thank you all. Bless you all so much. Thank you all. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate it. Yes. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna be planting these in a minute. But now is the time to start getting your stuff in the dirt. You don't want to wait till the cold weather come and you got to put them indoors because you want them to develop as much root as them can now so them could survive during the fall and winter. What I'm seeing with this, I'm actually seeing this doing pretty well. Even though I see it doing well in the water, it doing well, it pushing, you see, it's actually growing. But I'm not gonna have it in water during the fall and during the winter. So you wanna place it into the soil now so it can start developing root. Now, overwintering. You know, sometimes we have tropical plants and we want to overwinter them. What I do when I start to take in my plants does be in late September into October. I don't wait until the coldness begin to now start to take them indoors. What I do, I take them in like a month before the coldness begin because now you have to take them into a different climate, basically a different atmosphere. You taking them from outdoor in the hot and put them, let it start adjusting. Because when the cold, you know, when the winter and the weather different than the summer, so you want to start breaking them in from the heat into a cooler temperature, into the cold temperature. So you kind of, you know, transfer them from the burning heat into a shaded area, into when the weather start changing, where we start to get the heat, where we start to get the coolness start to comes on. Even though you have them indoors, it's still challenging. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm start walking on my plan. A gardener never stop garden. Whether it doesn't matter if you're doing it in a zone where it's cold weather, he never stop garden. There's always something you got to do. Don't wait till spring to now thinking about, oh, I'm going to be doing this. No, you plan ahead. You plan ahead. When you're in the tropical, it's a whole different ball game. But when you're in the where you have short growing season, you got to utilize the time you have. Utilize the time into that you could grow a certain amount of food within that time. Very important because for what I'm seeing now, guys, for what I'm seeing, and this is not just one part of the world, this is every part of the world today. We see things have strange, we see things have strange. And all I can say now is get to that skill. Start, learn skill, learn to be skillful, learn survival skill. So if certain thing happen, you you ain't gotta go into panic mode. You know how to utilize what you have and make it work. You know how to catch fire outdoors. If you don't have a gas stove, if you have a stove inside, but you don't have no gas, if you have a backyard, you could cook. And it's different for certain people because if you're living in an apartment, it's kind of challenging with certain things because you cannot just run outside and start cooking in your backyard. So it's just different. But all I'm saying is the skill is important. Who knows? You never know. From moving one place, you might move from one place to the next. And then where you move to, you have space, but you have the knowledge. You have the information. You understand how to grow. You understand how to live after land. So even though you have the skill, it might just be useful one day. So learning all this is skill. Because if you don't know how to do this, which is simple, it's a simple process. But if you don't know how to do it, you can't do it. You see what I'm coming from? This is one the simplest process to get propagate, to get a plant propagate. Simple. This is dragon fruit. Simple. But if you don't know, you can't do it. So the information is very important. So sometimes we might tell ourselves, okay, I don't need that. Some people might say, okay, I don't have a backyard to go out and cook into. So I don't need this type of skill. Well, you just never know. Especially what is happening today. Because we actually hitting a different era that we all can see. This is not like 20 years ago, and it's not gonna go back there. This is not like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's completely different, and it's not going back there. It will never go back there. So from moving forward, looking forward to the future, skills is necessary. Even though you might not have to use it, is necessary. And it's not that you might not have to use it, but you could teach someone. So having the information is important. So learning how to propagate plants, learning how to grow food, learning how to feed your family, all these are skills. And sometimes you have them inside of you. It's just to activate them. The thing is, many of us grow up, don't have the needs of growing anything because we grow up where we just go and we purchase it from the supermarket, so we don't need to grow them. Many people grows up like that. And also many people grows up where they get their food from the land. So time is changing. Time is changing, and I don't know. But one thing I know, I'm gonna be learning as much as I can. And if I can share the information or help someone, I'm gonna just do that as well. But growing is important. I don't think anyone understand. I'm sure you guys understand the benefit, agriculture, guys. Agriculture is one of the biggest market in the world. one of the biggest market in the world. Why is that? Everybody got to eat. Everybody got to eat. And in most cases, in most cases, most people have to go to the store and purchase everything they need to eat. Everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. Most people have to push their hand in the pocket, whether they have to drive, go to the store, or walk, go to the store. They got to do that. Most people live their whole entire life getting up and going to the supermarket. There's other people grow up living off the land. Yes, sometimes they got to go to the store, but only for certain things. You know, I remember times gone by when, like for me, the only thing we used to go to the supermarket for is like sugar, rice, and flour. That's basically the only thing and salt we used to go to the supermarket for, because we used to grow everything. We used to rear our own animal. We used to all different type of animal. So if you need a cow, if you need a sheep, a chicken, you you know, you just prepare it. The food, you grow in the food, you grow in the beans, you grow in the potato, you grow in the yam, you grow in all these things. Then you have so much fruit trees around you, breadfruit, all these type of different fruits that you could actually eat around you. So, you know, you kind of think to that, but some people never really see that. Some people just go to the store for everything. And is it a bad thing? I cannot say it's a bad thing, because that's when most, if you don't know, if that's what you grew up seeing, if that's what you grew up seeing and that is the norm, yes, that's basically, it's going to become natural. It's going to become like this is the life. But growing something save you a lot of money. I'm telling you. Just think about all the money you go to the supermarket and spend every month. Just think about it. See how much money you spend buying food every month. And think about if you have a backyard garden with your seasoning, with your sage, with your rosemary, all these things, with your mint. So you ain't got to spend no money on the mint, the rose seasoning, the spice, because you growing all of that. So all that is actually funds that you're saving. So it's very challenging, but it's very rewarding. All right. So what's up, guys? What's up? Do anyone have any question about gardening today? Is there anyone have any question about organic gardening today? If you have any question, you could just put it in the comment section. All right? Any question, please put it in the comment section. It's got to be about organic gardening. All right? Any question, please put it in the comment box section and I will answer to the best of my ability. All right. You know what? It's been raining a lot. It's been really raining a lot. Am I complaining? Not at all. Because this is a container I have here, and I actually getting ready to this dragon fruit. Like I said, I think it's doing pretty well in the container, but I also want to get it to its root to get established before the cold weather come down. I want the root to get established because you see, these are tropical plants. And if the cold weather come down and you transplant it, it might struggle to grow. But if you have it already established, it already start growing, it stand a better chance of surviving during the winter season. So I want to do it now, even though, like I said, I enjoy how it growing in the water, but I want to put it in this container just to get its root established. So what let me see. All right. So as you see, I have the hole already dig out. If you notice, you're going to see me have some little bit of clay soil in the container. The reason for the clay soil help hold moisture. All right, a little moisture. So you don't want the container to dry out. So if the clay soil is in there, it's going to help. Okay, let me fill up the hole a little more. All right. So I'm just gonna, I know the truth is I now start to grow dragon fruit. Yeah, this is my fourth year basically growing dragon fruit. The plant is up there, so I'm gonna bury it like that. You see what? I bury it like that, and then I just pull the soil and wrong it like that. And this is my dragon fruit just like that right there. So it don't have its root established. Hey Elsa, what's up? I've been watching your pre-record videos lately. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, Elsa. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoying them, Elsa. I hope you enjoying them. There's a lot to learn. I'm telling you. You watch these videos, you're gonna become a pro in growing your own food naturally. All right. So guys, just like that, this is one of my dragon fruit that I now transplant. I have a next one here. There's a next one here that's already also pushing out nice white root, and all by the stem that you could see the growth of it. So putting them in the soil, I think, is the best thing to do right now, so that their root can get a little established before the winter. The other Elsa said the other day, you show how to plant bell pepper 10 to 12 inches deep. Do you do all plants like that? Yes, basically I plant almost every plant 10 inches deep. Some plant you don't have to plant them deep, because what they do, they push their root down in the ground. So some plant you could put them, and when you talk of vegetables, yes, vegetables I plant all of them: eggplant, okra, herbs, all these type of plants I plant them deep. Like this one, I didn't plant it deep, because what this one gonna do is gonna push its roots down, and then in a few, maybe by next year, I might just put it in a bigger pot. But most of my plant, I plant them 12 inches deep. And why I do that? And why I do that? Because the result is amazing. Could when number one, when you look at my bell pepper plants, them right? When you look at my bell pepper plants, you see them grows 8 feet tall, 10 feet tall. Let me see what it say. Protect plant when there is no rain. Definitely, 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 definitely. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna explain a little more why I plant deep and the benefit of planting deep. Now, could you imagine you growing peppers 8 feet tall? Could you imagine that? And then you plant it 5 inches deep or 6 inches deep. Could you imagine? You know what gonna happen? The pepper tree gonna break down. The wind gonna blow and break it down. You know why? Because the root is not anchored in the ground. You got to remember, you're talking about pepper tree 6, 7, 8 feet tall, and you only plant them 4, 5, 6 inches deep. They might break out the root. But if you notice my peppers, they standing in the ground. The only thing I do, I stake them, because the limb, sometimes the pepper them so heavy that they break the limb, and then sometimes the rain come and break the limb, but not, you never see the plant break out the root, because they grounded. The next thing again is collecting the nutrient, collecting the minerals. One thing we got to understand, where can you find nutrients and minerals most of the time? Is under the soil. You know why? Because the sun don't really penetrate under the soil. The sun penetrate the top. If you notice, when the sun penetrating, sometimes you notice how the soilers get dry out, especially if it's not raining. You notice how the soilers get dry. The sun drain everything out of that soil. But down under, the sun is not penetrating, so all the moisture is down there. That's where the nutrients and the mineral. So that's why it's so important to plant deep. I plant cabbage, same thing. Broccoli, same thing. Okra, same thing. Peppers, eggplant, almost every plant I plant, I put them down 12 inches deep, 10 to 12 inches deep. Even if, when you plant 10 to 12 inches deep, if you're not getting any rain, like in my zone, sometimes I don't get rain for 3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes. But you never see my plants them looking dry, and you never see that. Because even though they're not getting the rain, they still have moisture, they still feeding because their root is down under the soil. So they're still feeding regardless. So it's so much benefit planting the other day I saw a guy just basically pepper. He was planting some pepper and some okra and tomato, and he basically was scratching the surface and just plant the. And I said, no man, no, you got to put them root down, because if you just scratch the surface and plant, that root is right up to the top, and then you dealing with the heat. That heat is gonna be penetrating them root, and if the heat is penetrating the root, them root is not growing nowhere. So my thing is, for me personally, could only speak for myself and my garden, 10 to 12 inches deep is one of the best thing I ever did in gardening. 10 to 12 inches deep is one of the best thing I could have do. I could have acknowledged, I could have pay attention and see how important it is. Because I don't wet my plants them. The only how I might wet my plants is if is in the burning summer heat and we ain't seen no rain for at least 3-4 weeks. Then I say, boy, and me have small plant that I know transplant. Then, other than that, once these plants start growing, I don't water them because I know I plant them deep already, and the sun is gonna take the sun time to penetrate their root. In container, it's pretty different in container, because if you're growing in container, the sun penetrates every angle of the container. It penetrates the sides and it penetrates the top. So in container, you got to be very, very, you got to know what you're doing too, or you're not gonna get too much growth. I'm telling you. All right. If you have any question, guys, please put it in the comment section. You don't plant seed 10. No, 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 no. You don't plant seed 10 inches deep. You plant a baby plant. Yes, 10 inches. Right. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You don't plant your seed 10 inches deep. I don't, that's not a good idea, guys. It's gonna be, I don't even think that seed might survive because it's too much layer of soil for that to come from. I'm sure their seed might survive, but it's gonna be very challenging. It's too much layer of soil for that seed to push through. Maybe some seed might still push through, but our little vegetable seeds, I think it's gonna be very challenging for that. So what you do, you start your seed first. If you could start them and get them at least 4 to 5 inches at least 4 or 5 inches in tall before you plant them. That's a good idea. The truth is, I as a person, I plant them pretty small, pretty small. The smaller you plant them, the more care you have to give them. So if you allow them to grow 4, 5, 6 inches, that will be a lot better because it's gonna be less work for you. But if you plant them with 4 leaf, which I do sometimes, I plant my plant with 4 leaf, but it takes more care. You have to definitely give more care if you plant them that small. So like if I plant them small and then I see there's no rain, then I'll go out and I'll say, boy, let me try wet these. But once they start growing, not doing it, guy, this guy know his stuff. Thank you, Peters. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, many people say different things, and I mean, people got to know what they do in their zone and how they do it. But with me, I do things to get result, not just to speak. It's about result. And I observe and I pay attention to my plants and what make they grow better. It's not something you're gonna learn overnight. And I always say this because I don't want anyone to run out of patience, because a lot of people, when we don't see result right away, we just get discouraged. But don't get discouraged. It's just a process. And the more you go at it, the more you see, the more you understand. Then the next season, okay, I did this last year and it didn't work. So I'm not doing this again. When you understand, and you master certain things in your garden, when you understand and you master that, you don't want to let that go, man, because the things you see start happening in your garden. Like for instance, I've been growing bell pepper for a pretty long time. And I never really used to pay attention to the height of the pepper, but I always know I have pepper tree taller than me, always. This been happening for years. But I never really pay attention until I really start. This is how I know it's important to pay attention. This is how I know it's important to see what happened last year and what you could change, or the method you use, it worked phenomenal, so you decide, okay, I'm going to continue this. Because now, from the time I realize what to do to get a pepper to grow tall and spread, not just tall, spread with 5 different branches, just spread out. From the time I understand what I have to do, that was it. Right now in my garden, I have pepper tree 8 feet tall, right at this point. And I know they're gonna hit 9 feet, maybe 10 feet. Last year, I grew a pepper tree 10 feet tall. So when you understand what to do to get these production, that's when you know this is the blueprint. Because now you're getting the plant to grow and still able to produce so much. You know my bell pepper I just harvest, guys. Every day I go in my garden, I harvest pepper. Every day. So when you understand, trust me, you keep that recipe, man. When once you that this is why you have to pay attention. So when you understand and you master it, you hold on to it, you know exactly what it takes. I can tell you, I'm gonna grow a 8 foot bell pepper tree and do it. Not many people could do that. And this is not about boasting. It have nothing to do with boasting. It have what I'm basically trying to what I'm trying to enlighten you guys with. It's paying attention to your garden. Not many people can tell you, you know what? I'm gonna grow a 9 foot pepper tree this year and do it. I can do it. And I did it over and over and over because I understand what it takes because I've been growing them and I see what I need to do. And let me make this clear. This is organic gardening, guys. This is not the garden them that people spray stuff into and people use. No, I cannot speak for those type of garden. I could speak for a natural garden. All right. Elsa said, does a lot of your produce go to waste? No, 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 no. Not at all. I do not allow anything to go to waste. I prefer to give away. Yes, I allow certain things to go back to the earth because I always believe you have to give back. So I always allow certain things to go back. Like I might leave a pumpkin to go back. I might leave some peppers to go back. Different things I'm gonna leave to go back to the earth. These are things that is very important. We have to understand certain things. We don't know everything about nature, but we have to understand certain things. While we walking with nature, we learning because nature teach you. So while we walking with nature, we learning at the same time. Do you dry your vegetables canning? Yes, from time to time. From time to time, yes. But a lot of my food that I grow, I try to grow food that I do not need to can. I try to grow food that I can just put in a box and just leave it there and could last for months, which is pumpkin, squash, dasheen, tanya, edo. All these type of food, I love to grow them because you don't need to have to store them, you don't need to can them. You could just leave them there in an area with the right temperature and they will last for months. Now, when we talk about the pepper now, yes, I make pepper sauce. I make sweet pepper sauce. I also make, I also cut them up. Some of them, put them for freeze in the freezer bag. Yes. And yes, that's basically what I do. I give away a lot. So when you cut them, when you blend them up and make them into a sauce, some you could add a little vinegar, white vinegar to it, and you could just put it on a shelf or you could keep it in your refrigerator. And that's another way. But these days you gotta be smart. When I say smart, what I mean, because you don't want to do things that you have to. depend on a refrigerator 100%. Because if that's the case, if one day your refrigerator is not working, then all your food gonna go to waste. So you gotta learn to can. You gotta learn to can food. You gotta learn how to preserve food, because you don't want to lose all your food because one day your refrigerator break down or electricity gone. So all right, let me see. Elsa said, you are a wealth of information. Many people don't know how to do canning. Yes, many people don't know, but all you got to do is apply it. And there's so much videos you could learn from today how to can food. So I think people, it's not just about growing the food, because you could be growing the food, harvesting the food, and then the food going to waste because you mightn't using it fast enough. So in times like these, you should learn canning. Canning should be something you wanna pay attention to. Preserving, you growing your herbs them. You should know how to dry your herbs them, which is important. You should know how to dry your herbs them, because you, especially for the people who have to deal with the cold weather, you have to learn these things. Okay. Elsa said, my ancestor canned goods and put in basement or cellar or dry shelf. Definitely, definitely. If electricity goes out, we need to know alternative ways. Definitely, definitely, definitely. You see, in the winter, if you live in an area where it's really cold, it's really cold. If you live in a zone that's real cold and your refrigerator goes out, it's good to have a ice box. It's good to have a ice box, and maybe you could take your stuff them out your fridge and put them in in the ice box and maybe pull it outside. You see what I'm saying? Because it's cold. So it might able to save them. I mean, you got to think, how am I gonna save my food in case situation happen? Then in the summer, it's a whole different story. In the summer, it's a whole different story, because if the electricity gone in the summer and you don't have a generator with that type of heat, or your fridge break down, you could lose all your food. So I don't want to depend on a refrigerator 100%. I'm not saying it's not a good choice. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. But you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You see what I'm coming from? That is like putting all your eggs in one basket. And if you lose the basket, you lose all your eggs. So you want to be having option. It's important for option. So if one fail you, the other fail you. You know, this is why. This is why my channel, it's about using what you have. It's about using what you have. Because I'm gonna tell you this. Many people talk about go out and you buy this and you buy that and you buy this and you buy that in case this happen, in case this happen. Yes, that is a good idea. That could be a good idea, right? Because you go out there and you spend half all your money buying this and buying that. Sometimes, guys, the scam is more is way more better than going out there and buy all these bunch of things. Sometimes you know what? The only thing you could run with is the skill you have. Sometimes there could be a disaster, a storm. You got to run, and all the food you can, all the generator you purchase, all the everything you purchase, you got to run, leave everything. But the skill, sometimes, that's the only thing you can run with. So the skill is important. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. Hey, Ami, how you doing? Kim, Ami, how you doing? Blessings to you. Thank you for being here. Yes, don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying that a person must go out and buy a generator. I think a generator is very important. I think a generator is very important. But one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to tell you to go out there and buy all this type of stuff. I'm not going to go out there and tell you buy a bunch of stuff to cook on and all this kind of stuff. Because sometimes you can't even pick them up. Sometimes you just got to run. But the information is here. There's many ways you can cook. There's many ways you can cook even though you don't have all these gazettes that people telling you about. People talking about a lot of gazettes, but these gazettes cost money. And then sometimes, relax. And then sometimes you might have to run leave them. So sometimes the skill could be. Hey guys, sorry for the dog. Sorry. Could you give me a minute, please? Okay. Yes. Skill is important. Because guess what? Let me see. Do you grow melons too? Yes, I do. Cantaloupe, yes. Yes, I do. Fruit trees, yes, definitely. Hey, Peter, what's up, man? Blessings to you. Like you plant go. That's wonderful, Kim. That's wonderful. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys. It start to rain already. Yes. Yes, guys. So in times like these, the skill is important, and I will never say don't go out and buy a generator. A generator is very important. Having some is very important. But I will not tell you to go out there and spend all the money you have buying gazette in case something happen. Because if something happens sometimes, you got to run leave everything. So be mindful of that, because if there's a you see there's a lot of people, like someone was telling me that, you know, when they online and they start seeing stuff, they just get excited, and that does make they start to buy stuff. So I say, well, stay off line then. If that's the case, leave it alone. Because if it making you spend more than you would love to spend, then you need to stay off of it for a while. So sometimes, and this is the thing about advertisement, because this is why people advertise. Because advertisement is what make you see and make you say, okay, I need this. And most sometimes you don't even need it. That's the thing. Sometimes you don't even need it. Sometimes what you do, buy it and you put it up somewhere and you never use it. Sometimes you forget you even have it. So times like these, we got to invest smart. Not in just, like for instance, not because something is on sale, I'm going to go and buy it. Because I might have my television. Say, for instance, you have your TV, and because you see a nice advertisement with a bigger TV than yours, you feel like, yeah, I need to get rid of this one. I need a next one. Because you see a one and you believe they tell you it's on sale, and you just feel that you have to get that. Well, listen, me guys, that same seven, eight, $900, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. Because these are the prices that you're gonna invest in a television in times like these. And even though you have one, if you don't have one, it's okay. It's different. Even though you have one, invest in something. Invest in something that can give you a return. We have to invest in things that can give us a return, not to go on the shelf and just be there until we forget them. Invest in things that can give you a return. Time is changing. So this is why I'm saying don't run out there and buy a bunch of gazette because people is telling you. Uh, Acquire the skill them. Because guess what? If you don't have a one them thing to cook and grill and out there, I guarantee you still could cook once you have the food. You grab some wood, put them together, grab 3 stone, and you can cook without that thing that working with oh yes, it working with the sun. We call it again. Where the stuff them name you work where the sun regenerate. Could somebody tell me that thing, please? Kimsey, start the thing planter from closet jar exactly garage to much exactly. Tag still on them. Definitely does not make any sense. Invest in things that can bring back to you. Gotta be smart these times. You show us good, expensive, and organic ways. Thank you. Yes, exactly. The solar. Yes, yes, yes. No, they tell you, oh, you could buy this because you know what? It work with the solar panel. You ain't got the thing. No, you gone out there and you buying all these things, and you just putting them down. Listen me, you could still cook without them. You could 3 stone, some wood and a pot. You could cook. You can cook. So the most important thing is the skill and understand how to survive off of what you have or off of nothing. Be creative, start look around and start thinking, what can I use this for? Now is not the time to run out there and spend unnecessary money that you don't need to. Well, guys, I could only speak for myself. I don't want to tell you that and then you guys get upset with me because I said that. So I could only speak for myself. Now is not the time for me to go out there and spending unnecessary money that I don't need to spend. And then I have them store away just looking at them. No, I prefer to spend money on something that can give me a return or continue giving me a return, meaning investing. Do your research on investing. Don't just get into investment, guys. Do your research. Invest in things you like, things you capable of doing. Because if you investing in things and depending on someone 100%, then you have situation. You have to invest in things you have some kind of knowledge that no one cannot just fool you and just tell you this and tell you that. You know, let me see. My money goes into, that's an investment. That's an investment right there. Peter, that's an investment right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's investment. Peter said, my money goes into seed every time I see something I don't have. I buy new seed. That's investment that can give you back. You see where I'm coming from? Thank you for saying that. That's a part of investing right there. It gives you back. You could get a return from it. But that's my opinion, guys. I can't tell you guys what to do, but what I'm seeing today, I do not think we should just go out there while spending money, man. It start to get it start to become now a dog for eat, a dog, how they call it, dog for dog walls. Yeah, where everybody gonna be worrying about their self and their family. This is where it's hitting now. And could you blame anyone? No, because time is getting hard. People have to secure their self and their family before they could secure you, or before they could even think about helping you. So that's why you gotta place yourself now and apply yourself that you can help yourself and your family. You see what Peter now said it? That's investment. Do you understand the value of having seeds? Do you understand the value of having seed? Do you know that if you have seeds, there's a storm, something happen, we're going through a disaster, whatever going on. Do you know a person will give you anything for some seed? You mightn't, let's put it this way. You might have your seeds, right? You have your seed, you have your seed, but you mightn't have, put it like this, you might have something different, right? And but you have your seed. Do you understand the person who don't have no seed? Because now you getting ready, people want to grow food because things getting hard, people want to grow their own food. They will give you anything to get some of your seed. That's a real big investment. I don't think people understand this, how meaningful this investment is. I don't think people understand how meaningful it is to have seeds in hard times, in times when things happen and you lose everything. Because the world we live in today, anything could happen. These storm is passing, anything can happen. Okay, Peter said, dog eat dog. Yes, dog eat dog wall. That's it. Hey, Pure Grow, what's up? Blessings to you. What's going on? Yes, that's exactly what it said. It's a dog eat dog wall where no one is gonna be you and this kind of time is we're gonna be very. You know why times like these gonna be challenging? Because You might be growing your food and someone ain't growing the food, but they're watching you. They're looking at you growing your food. And when your food ready for harvest, they start harvesting before you. These are these things gonna be happening. I'm telling you. It might sound simple and it might sound crazy, but it's the truth. It is the truth. Time is changing every part of the world. It's not just one place, every part of the world. On this channel, we try to, yes, sir, yes, sir, I'm doing well. Never could be prepared enough, just have to be ready. That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. It's really getting challenging, guys. And you know, sometimes we don't see it as lettuce unless it's by our doorstep. But these are things people going through every day. But sometimes we don't see it because it's not by our doorstep. But that doesn't mean it not happening. Things happening. 2025 goes on, gonna be a whole complete different lifestyle. Everything is changing. It will never get back to be how it used to. Never. So, and this is what I tell people. That us always have this conversation because seeds is so important. Seeds is so important. And the way I see in it, very soon, very soon, I don't think you will even, I think you will able to get seed, but it might only to give you one crop. I don't think you might be able to get two crop from seeds in the future. I also think, well, I'm seeing it happening already. You know, like you could go to the supermarket or the farmer's market and you could buy a squash or you could buy a watermelon, whatever, and then you could scrape out the seeds and then you could go and set the seeds them. And then when you do look, you see you get watermelon, then you could get seed from the watermelon and continue. Do you? I don't know if you guys notice this, but for this is the third year I've seen a difference in that. I've seen where they will grow, they will produce flowers, but they is not producing. So I don't know. I don't know if that's how they, you know, I mean, you guys know what I'm saying, but time is changing. So if you don't want to grab hold of your seeds today, if you don't want to grab hold of real seeds in this time, I'm telling you, in a few years, you're not going to get it. All right, you see what Hart said? Can control. All right, all right. All right, all right. You see where Hart say in the chat? All right, all right, all right, Elsa. All right, okay, okay. You see where I'm coming from? So I believe it's for me. It's happening. This is the third year I've realized, and it's with different plants. It's now with one plant. I open up I get a squash this year. All your people, I open up the whole squash, scrape out all the seed, and I set the seed. I dig a bank and I just set the seed, all the seeds. I did the same thing with another squash down to the bottom. Open it up, take out all, set them. If you see how they germinate beautiful, they germinate beautiful and healthy. You know what happened? I did not get one squash. What? I did not get one squash from those plants. Not even one. I have lama beans are what they call. They call them another name. It's a big white beans. I get some from a farmer's market and I sow them, and they grow so lovely. They grow so nice. But I see one on that patch of beans. If you see how they spread, I see one beans on top of it. So I think things is happening already. I think the future might be very challenging to even grow something. I think I think if you could get good seeds, hold on to them because it's gonna change. I think it's already changing already. If you notice, just notice, like for instance, meat. I don't eat meat, but meat. They don't need to grow a cow to get beef. They understand? They could do that could happen in a lab. Think about it. So the future is not gonna be maybe 5, 10 years from now, you might even be seeing cow in the pasture. You might be seeing something different. You might even be seeing feel of food. You might be seeing more building with food come from. It's changing. So having the skill and some good seed might be able to help you, man. Might give you some sort of independence somehow or the other. Learn how to grow. Learn how to multiply your crop. Learn how to choose. Learn how to get one plant and turn it into several different plants. It's easy if you have the space. It's easy to become a person that be creative. Be creative. You can sell your own plants. You can look, for instance, right? I'm gonna show. Let me just show a little reference here. I have a dragon fruit tree, and from that dragon fruit tree, I make a cutting. You see it start root. So now I'm gonna take this and put this in a different container. So that's gonna be two plants instead of one. I also have this one here. That come from the plant. So you see, from one I have three now. So So these are things you learn to do. Like for instance, you could also learn to root these as well, fruit trees. Learn to root them. Learn to propagate fruit trees. So you could have people sell these limbs, like pear or apple or plum, whatever. People sells them. Be creative. I'm just telling you how there's ways you can make a few bucks. Now, you could invest. This is what I'm now saying. When I invest, I want to invest in things that can give me a return. And many people mightn't look at fruit trees as an investment, but I think it's a great investment because you could create your own little nursery if you have the space, and you could learn how to propagate these things, get containers, and pack them in the containers, and just like that, you could sell. I'm telling you. So you eating from the plant, and you still able to sell cuttings from the plant. So fruit trees, we might think it's not an investment, but it is. We might think seeds is not an investment, but it is. There's return. They give back. Not just having it on the shelf, just there collecting dust, and you cannot get nothing from it. There. Sometimes you might never even use it. But your fruit tree, if you be creative and get business wise, you can eat the fruits, propagate the limbs them, and multiply your fruit trees. Yes, Progo, yes. You have to be creative and thinking these days. This is not in the 10, 20 years ago. And it's not going back there. And I don't know how the future holds, but until I can grow my food, I'm going to be growing it. But I don't think it might be even possible in the future. I don't think we might be able to grow the way we grow. Okay, pure grocery. That's exactly what I've been doing. Thinking. Definitely, think, man. How you can? I'm telling you, you'll be surprised. Of and you see on this channel, guys, this is what we do on this channel. We do not send people out there to spend a bag of money on things they don't need. What we do, we say use what you have. You understand? Use your mind, think, be creative. It saves you a lot of money. It saves you from spending everything. Everything you think about, you got to spend. You need an onion, you got to go spend money and get it. You need a cucumber, you got to spend money and get it. You need a pepper, you got to spend money and get it. You need some lettuce, you got to spend money and get it. Everything you think of, then you still have your to pay. Then you still, you know how stressful that could be. But if you could get up and say, all right, I need some lettuce, let me go pick a fresh head of lettuce, and you just walk over and you pick a fresh head of lettuce for your salad. You go in and cook. You need some fresh herbs. You also need a fresh bell pepper, fresh hot pepper. You just walk and pick that. It didn't cost you a dime. That's what we promote. Use what you have. Grow something. Invest in things that can give you back in the future, give you a return. You buy a fruit tree. This fruit tree will always feed you. This fruit tree will, if you thinking, you could start selling cuttings. You could start doing grafting. You could start propagating and multiply your fruit trees. Next thing you realize, you have all different type of fruit trees selling, different type of herbs selling. Be creative. That's all. Don't go out there and spend every dime you have, because you don't have to. But anyhow, guys, that's just my opinion. I only could share my opinion. You still have to make your decision. You still have to make your choice. What works for you in your zone? Well, you know what? Thank you for saying that, Peter. Thank you for saying that. And you're correct. And you're correct. Because these things might be problem in the future. You're right. You're right. You're right. Because you could be selling. You know what? Let me take that back. Let me take that back. You could multiply your fruit trees for your garden. I don't want to tell you to go sell anything, because you know how that works. But the thing is, there's ways to go to, if you want to sell fruit trees, I'm sure there's ways that can be done in the right way. But I'm taking that back. Grow, multiply your fruit tree for you and your family. So if you have one pear tree, you could turn it into 2, 3 pear tree. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. Thank you. You're right, because everybody got to eat. Food is important. So you have a point. That's true. But like I was saying, I don't think people will be able to grow food in the future. Like how we still have a chance today. I don't think you could do it in the open in the future. I think things gonna change. So don't just multiply it for you and your family. Before you think about selling, get it together first, okay? Get everything together first. Make sure you follow the steps. Find out what you need to do. If you can't do it, just don't do it, okay? Because Peter right. Peter right. But at the end of the day, guys, how you guys doing? How you guys doing? How your garden doing? I want to hear about your garden, guys. I show you my garden all the time. I want to hear how your garden doing. Let me know how your garden doing. Okay, Puyogo said, my garden is doing great, 80%. Well, if your garden is doing 80%, that's magnificent. That's magnificent right there. And I did see your garden, and yes, it is doing great. It is doing great. And I've known, I see you making your compost here as well. I see you did a video where you was stinging. So yes, that's a wonderful thing. Can't stop picking okra. Yep, okra. And the thing about okra, the more you pick them, the more you pick them, the more they produce. That's what I love about okra. You know, I have an okra tree that I plant in clay soil. In clay soil, I planted in clay soil. I didn't feed it at all. I didn't even give it composting. And that okra plant is growing so massive. It have two sprang like this. You know, like how they just grow up tall. One, it have two, and it producing on both of them. If you see that thing, and it's spread out. Beautiful okra plant. Let me see. Elsa say, I have a flowers bush and tree garden. I watch you and lawn produce. All right. All right. That's wonderful. Yes, you're supposed to let a couple food to see. That's very smart. You should. Peter said, mine doing good. Elephant garlic planted yesterday, potato, and the day before, always doing something. Wonderful, wonderful, Peter. Wonderful. If you have the space, always try to grow something. Once you have the space, always put something in the ground. Always. So you could have food, you could have stuff for the winter. So that's wonderful. Well, you guys just keep do what you're doing until you can. We don't know how the future we don't know how the future gonna be. But right now, you can do it. I don't think they're bothering anybody right now. But the future, 10, 15 years from now, I don't think people will be in the garden. People are gonna be in the field. I think food gonna be prepared different way. Yeah. My green beans taking off too. All right, all right, all right. That's wonderful. I mean, it ain't a beauty to behold that you plant your plants and just watch how they're growing so beautiful and healthy. And when you watch, you could walk in your garden and just pick some fresh vegetable. Ain't that beautiful? It is a beautiful thing. Okay, Kim, I say, planter, I feel bad about your experience. Squash producing zero fruit. I have placed compost atop my garden bed in March and in April and May. Such prolific foliage and fruits of all ground. Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Kiami. All right. Yes, the squash for me that really get thing one that I basically get from the my squash that I grow every year. They produce is just them that I purchase from the farmers market. They produce. All I see is flowers. That's all male flowers. I didn't see a female flowers. That's all I saw, male. So it's surely getting different. But that's good to know that. That's wonderful. Good to know you guys is growing something. Wonderful. 10 to 15 years is going to. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sorry, guys. 10 to 15 years. What we're seeing today, I think is going to be a big difference in the few. At How no it's going to be different. Could you imagine? Could you imagine for the people, who grows up. Okay, let's go back to 70s, 80s, 90s. Let's stay right there. For the people who grow up in the 70s, 90s, 80s, right, even early 2000. But I stay at 90s. You remember how it used to be in them times. I don't think cellular phone was out. I don't think cellular phone was out in them time. A lot of stuff wasn't out. And when you sit back and you look back to today, when you look back in them times to today, it's really different. So it's the same when you look to the future, 10, 15 years from now, it's going to be a big difference because look, in today world, you could be any part of the world on your phone and you could see somebody, could be talking to the person, seeing them, just like how you guys seeing me live, seeing them while talking to them. You see how far this thing come from? This come from you used to have to send a letter to people. A letter. Like you write a letter and you send it. Then it come to phone calls. Now it's like you could actually see the person before you. So it's just advancing. It's just advancing. Now you could actually have your phone and tell your phone to create an image, give it instruction. It's just different. The other side, you could tell the phone and it create it for you. What you guys think about the artificial intelligence AI? What you guys think about that? You guys think is it gonna be competing with us with jobs? You think it's gonna? You believe that it's gonna maybe take over our jobs one day? I mean, it's happening. To me, it started already. But how far do you think this gonna go? Do you think this gonna go where it will be very difficult to get a job? Hey guys, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Please hit the like button. I will appreciate it. All right. Okay, Progo. Yeah. Does anyone have any more thoughts on this? How far do you think this AI thing gonna reach? Do you believe they're gonna make it more difficult for us to get a job? Do you believe it's already start taking the jobs? Or you believe it's gonna just be okay? What is your thoughts on that, guys? Okay, let me see. It's just a computer and robot. It is going to be a strange world. That's right. It's surely gonna be strange. It's it's so crazy that very soon you're not gonna know real from artificial. You're not gonna know real from, and that could be pretty scary if you don't know the difference of real from artificial. You know, this are taking, I believe, this is my opinion, face recognition electric vehicle robot is going to be more crazy. I believe it's going to be a lot of, yep, AI will take office job, but I think we still need people that can use their hand. All right, all right, all right. You see? They're gonna, right. You know what I saw? There's something I was seeing the other day. And with the hand, I was watching a video the other day where a robot was cutting grass. Was, cutting grass. And the way he was cutting them and how fast he was doing it, listen to me, it's, it's scary. When I say it's scary, the, the amount, the amount of land I see that thing cut down by itself, it's gonna take a man a very long time to do that. So it's really, really getting to that point. I watched a video earlier in most many people had their own small farm and rich people made big groceries and everyone became more convenient, but people are more dependable on them. Well, right, that's the thing too. That's the thing too. If you if you do what, sometimes you can't live the life of depending on people or something for do everything for you. Sometimes it's good to be some sort of independent. It's good to have some sort of independent. Yes, you can, it's hard to be 100% independent, but if you could be 40%, 30%, 20%, it's better than being 100% depending for everything. But for what I'm seeing, I think it's going to be very difficult in the future for a job. And like Peter said, these things is taking away high-end job. There's, there's thing you could do that you also have to pay people to do for you. All you got to tell the thing, oh, could you just write up this for and give it some instruction, and in seconds he presents it for you. In seconds, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be challenging. So just put it this way. You as a person, you qualify, you went to school, you went to college to be, say, an accountant, right? You went to college to be an accountant. Let's just put it this way, or whatever. And you qualify, you get you know now to get this job now it's gonna be difficult for you. Even though, say for instance, you did get the job, you was working, it's gonna be difficult for you now because of these things. Because the kind of work these things could present in a damn in seconds, it's gonna take you years to do it. You see what I'm coming from? So it can be now the employer, let's put it this way. The employer, he trying to save money, right? He trying to save money. So if he could get them to do the work, instead I gotta hire people to do it, which gonna be faster and way cheaper. What you think they're gonna do? So at the end of the day, even an employer might have to make decision. And trust me, most of them might make the decision of what's cheaper for them. So it's gonna be challenging. I don't know how it's gonna be, but it's gonna be challenging. And this is not just gonna happen one place. This is gonna be every part of the world in the next 5, 10 years. Because everybody raising up their technology, everybody taking it to another level. You can't still stuck in the 70s with technology to today. So you have to raise it up, raise the bar. So because of all these things, like for instance, when you look at, you go in certain store and you see there's usually they're gonna have people walking around and checking the shelf, scanning and checking the shelf to see how much the inventory. Now they have a machine walking around and do that. You know how long it's gonna take you to check the inventory in one of them store? The machine walk around and scan and just go from shelf to shelf. So people gonna be looking for what cheaper. So it's like it's gonna be a competition. That's my opinion, guys. Let me see. I hope you reach, let me see. I hope you reach many young people with these message. Because 20 years from now, independent farming will be lost. Definitely. Skills and computer will run rich. Definitely. We need to teach our children pride, independence. Definitely, I agree. I agree. It's important because, and guys, this is why I do these videos, and this is why I try to share so much information, because especially like Elsa say, the children, because it's so important, because the future is the children, not us. The future is the children, and they really need this type of information. That when them time come, they still have a backup plan. They still have something they could goes after instead of a tunnel, a tunnel vision. You still have something that you could turn to. Because, like we say, man, it's gonna be a computer wall. Computer. Mankind will have to compete with machine in order to make it. Remember, if you're not working, there's bills to pay. That's gonna be something. Make of the beast. Yep. That's gonna be something. That's gonna be something. Time is changing, guys. Um, don't fall asleep. That's all I can tell you. Don't fall asleep, because if you fall asleep, you might just be left behind. This shit is real. This is, Elsa said, this is an awesome conversation. You're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you. This is real. But guys, it's raining, and I got to end this video, so we're going to pick up this video. Time is changing. Yes, we're going to pick up this video maybe tomorrow evening. Tomorrow is Friday. Yes, maybe tomorrow evening. We're going to continue this conversation. But always remember, it will never be how it used to be. It's going to be a change everywhere. And the more we can teach our children, the more we can teach them to be a little form of independent, yeah, I think it's gonna be good for them. So guys, don't forget to hit the like button, and you guys have a blessed and wonderful evening. Blessing to you, Progo. You guys have a blessed and wonderful evening. Thank you for being here, Pure Grow. Thank you for being here, Elsa. Thank you for being Kim. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're going to continue this another time. You guys have a blessed and wonderful day. All right? Thank you all so much. People forget the computer are a tool. You definitely. Thank you for that, Peter. See you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.